I had never felt a day as simple and perfect as this one. Emma laughed from across the living room, her hand brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "You're staring again," she said, smiling. "I can't help it," I replied. "You look, I don't know, perfect." She rolled her eyes, playful yet warm. "Flattery won't get you out of doing the dishes later." I groaned, holding up my hands. Fine. But can a man admire his fiancée for 5 seconds without being put to work?" Ethan, leaning against the doorway, smirked. "Admiring is one thing. Staring is another. Don't forget, you're supposed to help set the table for dinner too." I glanced at him. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" "Maybe a little," he said casually, but there was something behind his eyes I didn't catch at the time, an odd flicker quickly gone. Emma laughed again, tugging me toward the kitchen. "Ignore him. He's jealous." "Jealous of what?" Ethan asked, his voice light but edged. "You being annoying," I said, smiling. "Always the same answer, isn't it?" "Always," he said, shrugging. Dinner was lively, the usual mix of teasing, laughter, and gentle arguments over who should carve the chicken. Mom fussed over the vegetables while Dad leaned back in his chair, listening more than speaking. I watched Emma reach across the table to squeeze my hand, her eyes sparkling. "You're happy, aren't you?" she whispered. "I am," I said, my voice soft. "I feel like nothing could ruin today." Ethan's fork paused midair. "Nothing ever ruins anything. Not until it does," he said quietly, almost to himself. I frowned. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," he said quickly, forcing a grin. I was just thinking out loud. I didn't press it, but a tiny seed of unease lodged in my chest. Emma, oblivious, poured me some wine, smiling. "You worry too much." I smiled back, grateful, yet that seed didn't vanish. I tried to shake it off as we talked about wedding plans. "Do you think we should hire the string quartet?" I asked. Emma's eyes lit up. "Yes, but only if we get the one that plays our song." Ethan chimed in, casual, yet pointed. "You two and your songs. I don't even get to pick the playlist." I laughed. "Don't worry, little brother. There's always room for a surprise or two. Maybe a slow song for me and you, huh?" Ethan's smile twitched, not entirely genuine. "Sure," he said. Later, as dishes were cleared, Emma leaned against me, resting her head on my shoulder. "You're lucky, you know," she murmured. "Lucky? Yes. You have me." I laughed softly. "I have more than luck, Emma. I have you, and someday we'll be married." "Someday," she echoed, and for a moment, the room felt too perfect, like a fragile bubble. Ethan watched us quietly from the doorway, his smile polite, but I caught that same flicker I noticed earlier. Something in the way he lingered on her hand, on my shoulder. It was faint, almost invisible, but it left a strange chill in my chest. "I hope your wedding day is perfect," Ethan said, breaking my thoughts. His voice was casual, but there was weight beneath it, like a shadow hiding behind sunlight. I laughed lightly, trying to dismiss it. "Thanks. I hope it is too." But as I met Emma's warm gaze, my heart full of hope, I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling Ethan had planted. And for the first time that day, I wondered if even perfect beginnings could carry secrets within them. I had never felt a day as simple and perfect as this one. Emma laughed from across the living room, her hand brushing a loose strand of hair behind her ear. "You're staring again," she said, smiling. "I can't help it," I replied. "You look, I don't know, perfect." She rolled her eyes, playful yet warm. "Flattery won't get you out of doing the dishes later." I groaned, holding up my hands. Fine. But can a man admire his fiancée for 5 seconds without being put to work?" Ethan, leaning against the doorway, smirked. "Admiring is one thing. Staring is another. Don't forget, you're supposed to help set the table for dinner too." I glanced at him. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" "Maybe a little," he said casually, but there was something behind his eyes I didn't catch at the time, an odd flicker quickly gone. Emma laughed again, tugging me toward the kitchen. "Ignore him. He's jealous." "Jealous of what?" Ethan asked, his voice light but edged. "You being annoying," I said, smiling. "Always the same answer, isn't it?" "Always," he said, shrugging. Dinner was lively, the usual mix of teasing, laughter, and gentle arguments over who should carve the chicken. Mom fussed over the vegetables while Dad leaned back in his chair, listening more than speaking. I watched Emma reach across the table to squeeze my hand, her eyes sparkling. "You're happy, aren't you?" she whispered. "I am," I said, my voice soft. "I feel like nothing could ruin today." Ethan's fork paused midair. "Nothing ever ruins anything. Not until it does," he said quietly, almost to himself. I frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, he said quickly, forcing a grin. I was just thinking out loud. I didn't press it, but a tiny seed of unease lodged in my chest. Emma, oblivious, poured me some wine, smiling. You worry too much. I smiled back, grateful, yet that seed didn't vanish. I tried to shake it off as we talked about wedding plans. Do you think we should hire the string quartet? I asked. Emma's eyes lit up. Yes, but only if we get the one that plays our song. Ethan chimed in, casual, yet pointed. You too and your songs. I don't even get to pick the playlist. I laughed. Don't worry, little brother. There's always room for a surprise or two. Maybe a slow song for me and you, huh? Ethan's smile twitched, not entirely genuine. Sure, he said. Later, as dishes were cleared, Emma leaned against me, resting her head on my shoulder. You're lucky, you know, she murmured. Lucky? Yes. You have me. I laughed softly. I have more than luck, Emma. I have you, and someday we'll be married. Someday, she echoed, and for a moment, the room felt too perfect, like a fragile bubble. Ethan watched us quietly from the doorway, his smile polite, but I caught that same flicker I noticed earlier. Something in the way he lingered on her hand, on my shoulder. It was faint, almost invisible, but it left a strange chill in my chest. I hope your wedding day is perfect, Ethan said, breaking my thoughts. His voice was casual, but there was weight beneath it, like a shadow hiding behind sunlight. I laughed lightly, trying to dismiss it. Thanks. I hope it is too. But as I met Emma's warm gaze, my heart full of hope, I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling Ethan had planted. And for the first time that day, I wondered if even perfect beginnings could carry secrets within them. I didn't mean to see it. I really didn't. But Ethan left his phone on the kitchen counter, unlocked, while he went to get a glass of water. And curiosity, stupid, dangerous curiosity, made me glance at the screen. One message caught my eye. Can't stop thinking about last night. Wish you were here. My stomach twisted. I scrolled down faster, and each line felt like a knife. Compliments, inside jokes, whispered secrets, things that Emma and I shared, or so I thought. When Ethan returned, I slipped the phone back, pretending I hadn't looked. Everything okay? He asked, raising an eyebrow. Yeah, I said, my voice shaking slightly. Just coffee. Uh-huh, he said, sitting down, and I noticed the way he watched me, too sharp, too calm. My chest ached. Later, I found Emma in the living room, sketching in her notebook. Her hair fell over her face, soft and calm, and I hated her for it. Emma, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Can we talk? She looked up, smiling. Of course. What's wrong? I held her gaze, and the words tumbled out. I saw messages. Between you and Ethan. Things that shouldn't be there. Her expression didn't change. Calm. Almost too calm. Messages? I don't know what you mean. I saw them, Emma. Things you said, things that... I stopped, my voice breaking. Things that make it sound like you care about him in a way you shouldn't. She leaned back, frowning, shaking her head slowly. I swear, it's not what it looks like. You're imagining things. You always jump to the worst conclusions. Imagining. I laughed bitterly, but it was hollow. You don't understand. I saw him calling you sweet names. Whispering things to you. I can't even. Stop, she said gently, reaching for my hand. I love you. Only you. Ethan means nothing to me. But I stammered. He texts you in private ways. Doesn't that matter? Emma's eyes softened, almost pleading. I'm telling you the truth. He's my friend. You know him. He talks a lot. You're twisting his words in your mind. Please, don't let this ruin us. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to. I clutched her hands, feeling the warmth, the sincerity, or was it performance? My mind spun. Every sentence she said sounded like truth and a lie at the same time. Then explain this, I whispered, voice tight. This isn't just normal friendship talk. She bit her lip. Maybe I joked with him sometimes. You know, teasing. But it was nothing serious. You're my fiancé, my life. Don't let your imagination destroy what we have. I sank into the couch, head in my hands. I can't stop imagining, Emma. I can't. My mind, it won't let go. Every word, every glance, it feels like betrayal. She knelt in front of me. Look at me. Please. I'm here. I'm yours. But my heart didn't listen. It felt like it was splintering. I wanted to scream, to run, to break something, to understand. Instead, I just shook my head. Later, I cornered Ethan in the garage. We need to talk. Sure, he said, wiping his hands on a rag. What about? Don't play stupid. The messages, Ethan. Between you and Emma. He laughed softly, low, almost cruel. Messages? I don't know what you're talking about. Don't lie to me. I shouted. I saw them. And you're trying to manipulate me, aren't you? Ethan leaned against the wall, arms crossed, calm as ever. Manipulate? No, I think you're overreacting. Maybe you're just insecure. You love her, you trust her, but you're imagining betrayal where there isn't any. Stop gaslighting me. I snapped, my throat tight. I can feel it. I can feel the way you look at her. You're jealous, aren't you? He shrugged. Maybe I am. But that's on me, not on you. You should be happy. She's your fiancée, isn't she? I didn't know what to say. His words made sense, but my gut twisted with doubt, suspicion, and heartbreak. When I left the garage, I found Emma sitting on the porch, waiting. Are you okay? She asked softly. I sank beside her, head in my hands again. I don't know. I want to believe you. I really do. But I can't. Not right now. My heart, it hurts. Emma pulled me close. Then give me time. I'll prove it. Please. I nodded, though my heart was a storm of confusion, anger, and pain. And as she held me, I wondered if I would ever trust again. The seed of doubt had been planted. I didn't answer my phone for 2 days. Work piled up, emails went unanswered, and my head felt heavy with every thought of Emma and Ethan. Every memory of laughter now twisted into something sharp and cruel. Are you even listening to me? Sarah's voice cut through my fog as I slumped over my desk. I'm sorry, I muttered. I just can't focus. Can't focus or don't want to? She pressed, leaning against the doorway. Her eyes were calm, steady, like she could see right through me. Both, I admitted. Emma and Ethan. I keep thinking about them. I don't know what's real anymore. Sarah sighed. You can't live in suspicion forever. But I get it. Betrayal, it sticks to you like poison. I rubbed my face. She swears it's nothing, but I saw it. I can't unsee it, Sarah. And Ethan, his words, they twist everything. Sarah nodded slowly. You need clarity, not avoidance. Talk to her, talk to him, but don't spiral alone. I can't, I whispered. I don't even know if I should trust anyone right now. Not her, not him, maybe no one. Later that evening, Ethan found me in the living room, staring at the wall as if it could answer my questions. You've been distant, he said, perching on the couch arm. What's going on? Are you upset with me? Am I? I snapped, my voice louder than I intended. You think I can just forget what I saw? You're acting like nothing happened. He laughed softly, calm, almost mocking. I'm just worried about you. You're pushing everyone away. Even Emma. I glared. Concerned, huh? Convenient concern. I can feel your jealousy, Ethan. You've been hiding it, and now it's obvious. Jealous. He raised an eyebrow, smirking. Maybe I'm protective. Maybe I don't want to see you make mistakes. I care about both of you. You care about yourself more, I hissed. He didn't respond, just stared. That silence spoke louder than anything he could have said. I wanted to hit something. I wanted to scream. Instead, I walked away, my mind spinning. That night, Emma called. I let it ring. Twice. 3 times. Finally, she showed up at my door, carrying that soft, hopeful smile I used to adore. Please, she said gently. Talk to me. Just for a minute. I stepped back. I can't. Not now. I can't trust you. I can't trust him. I don't know what I feel anymore. Her eyes filled with hurt. I'm begging you, I love you. I've never loved anyone else. You have to believe me. I want to, I admitted, voice breaking. God, I want to. But my heart, it keeps remembering. Emma reached for my hand. Then let me prove it. Give me a chance. Please. I yanked my hand away, stepping back. I need space. Both of you. I need to think. I can't do this right now. She didn't argue, just nodded slowly. Okay, I'll wait. I slammed the door, leaning against it. My chest heaved, memories of happier days with Emma flashing in my mind. Her laughing at my terrible jokes, the way she rested her head on my shoulder, our whispered plans for the wedding. Every joyful moment now felt like a knife, twisting deeper. The next morning at work, Sarah found me again. You look like hell, she said bluntly, sliding into the chair across from me. I feel worse, I muttered. Then do something about it. You're letting your anger eat you alive. Talk to someone, write it down, scream if you have to, just don't let it rot inside you. I can't even decide what I want, I said, my voice hollow. I want her. I want revenge. I want to forget. I want to believe, but I can't do any of it. Sarah reached across the desk. Then start with one thing, distance. Step back from them both. Clear your head. Don't make decisions while your heart is a battlefield. I nodded reluctantly. Yeah, maybe you're right. I need space. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, the silence thick. My phone buzzed. I picked it up. A message from Emma. Meet me tomorrow before the wedding. I need you to see the truth for yourself. Don't ignore me. I stared at the screen, heart racing, mind reeling. I didn't know if I was ready. I didn't know if I could survive another lie, or another truth. But I knew I couldn't ignore her either. The sun was bright, but I barely noticed it. My hands shook slightly as I straightened my tie in the mirror, trying to convince myself I belonged here, at my own wedding. You okay? Jordan's voice startled me from behind. I'm fine, I said, though my stomach twisted. Just nervous. He smirked. Nervous? You've been waiting for this day forever. Or is it something else? I couldn't answer. Something gnawed at me. Memories of Ethan's messages, Emma's whispers, the doubts that had grown like weeds in my chest. The ceremony hall was packed. I could hear murmurs of guests, some congratulating, some laughing, but all I felt was a tight knot of fear. Here she comes, my father whispered. I turned, and my heart froze. Emma appeared at the entrance. White dress, flawless smile, but she wasn't looking at me. She was walking straight toward Ethan. Stop, I whispered to myself, my voice hoarse. Stop. Guests gasped. Mothers clutched tissues. Someone whispered, Isn't she? I ran a hand through my hair. My throat tightened. No, this can't be happening. Ethan's jaw was tight. His eyes gleamed, possessive, smug. He held himself like he had won something he wasn't supposed to. Emma, I called, voice shaking, but it barely carried over the hushed crowd. She didn't look at me. Step by step, she moved closer to Ethan, closer to betrayal. Each step was like a hammer on my chest. Why isn't she stopping? I muttered to no one, heart racing. The officiant cleared his throat. We are gathered here today. His words blurred as my mind screamed, warning, begging. I caught my mother's hand in mine. Doesn't she see? Doesn't she? She's confused, she whispered. Be patient. Confused? Confused doesn't walk toward someone else, as if your life doesn't matter. Guests whispered again. Some tried to hide it, others stared openly. The tension was suffocating. Then it happened. She stopped. For a heartbeat, the hall was silent. And then she turned. Wait. Her voice rang out, trembling but firm. I froze. Couldn't believe what I heard. She ran. Toward me. Emma. My voice cracked, echoing across the hall. I held out my arms as she reached me, throwing herself into my chest. Relief washed over me, sharp and overwhelming, but it was tangled with anger. I'm sorry, she whispered against my shoulder. I can't do this. I held her tighter. Why? Why would you even? She stopped, swallowing hard. I almost went with him. But it's you. Always been you. I was confused. I didn't want to hurt anyone, not even him. I pulled back slightly, looking at her. Tears blurred my vision. Do you even know how close I was to losing everything? Yes, she said softly. I know. I'm so sorry. I love you. I never wanted to betray you, truly. Please believe me. I wanted to punch something. I wanted to cry. I wanted to shake her until she understood how much pain she almost caused. Instead, I just held her, letting my anger mix with relief. Behind us, the hall erupted in murmurs and whispers. The officiant cleared his throat awkwardly. Well, perhaps we should start again. I ignored him. My gaze snapped to Ethan. He stood frozen, face pale, lips pressed into a thin line. His hands trembled. Ethan, I said slowly, dangerously calm. You're done. Don't think for a second this is about forgiveness. You've lost. Completely. He opened his mouth, then closed it. No words came. His envy, once subtle, was now exposed in full. His arrogance and schemes laid bare for all to see. Emma gripped my hand. I had to run to you. I couldn't marry him. I couldn't. You should have told me, I said, voice low, trembling. You should have stopped this earlier. I tried, she whispered. I wanted to, but I was scared. I didn't know if you'd believe me. I couldn't lose you. I shook my head, still holding her. I don't know if I can ever trust you again. Her eyes shimmered. Then let me earn it. Please. I'll do whatever it takes. I promise. I stared at her, my mind a storm of emotions. Relief, anger, heartbreak, confusion, and love. All tangled together, impossible to separate. The guests whispered and watched, some shocked, some relieved. The ceremony was ruined, but it didn't matter. At that moment, she was mine, truly mine, and nothing else seemed to exist. "Let's go," I said finally, voice trembling. "Let's go somewhere, anywhere." She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Anywhere with you." I took a deep breath, pulling her close once more, and for the first time all day, felt something real. Something honest. Ethan's shadow lingered in my mind, but right now it didn't matter. I had her, she had me, and the chaos of the wedding only made the moment more ours. We ended up in the empty lounge after the wedding chaos, the doors closed, leaving only the three of us. Emma clutched my hand, still trembling, while Ethan leaned against the wall, arms crossed, jaw tight. "Why?" I finally demanded, voice low, shaking. "Why did you even let this happen? Ethan, why were you involved at all?" Ethan's eyes flicked to Emma, then back to me. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I don't know. I felt like you had everything, her, success, attention. And I had nothing. Nothing. I said sharply. "You have a life, a family who loves you, a brother who trusted you." My voice cracked. "And yet you let envy take over?" He flinched but didn't argue. "It wasn't just envy. I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to feel important. I saw how close you two were, how happy, and I thought maybe if she saw me differently, maybe I'd matter too. You almost destroyed everything I've built." I shouted, pacing. "You almost stole the one person I love." Emma stepped forward, eyes pleading. "Stop yelling at him. He's saying what he feels, and we need honesty now. You have a right to know. I never loved him." Emma's voice was raw. "I never did. Not even once." She swallowed, tears glinting. "I loved you. Only you." I was confused, scared. I thought he was just a friend, and I didn't want to hurt anyone. But my heart has always been yours. I felt a mix of relief and lingering anger. Relief because her words were truth, but anger at how close I had come to losing her. "Do you even understand how much pain you caused?" I whispered. "I do," she said, voice trembling. "I'm sorry. Every second of doubt, every second of fear you felt, it was my fault. I never should have let this happen, not even as a joke, not even as teasing. I was weak and I panicked." I looked at Ethan, still leaning against the wall, silent now. "And do you regret it?" I asked, voice cold. Ethan's eyes fell. "Yes, I regret it every moment. I know it was wrong. I let jealousy blind me. I saw you with her and couldn't handle it. I wanted, to feel seen, to feel like I mattered. I was stupid, selfish." He trailed off, shame in his eyes. "You ruined my trust," I said softly, tone heavier than anger. "I don't know if I can ever see you the same way again. You crossed every line. And for what? Your own insecurities." He swallowed. "I know, and I'll have to live with that. You don't have to forgive me. I needed you to know why I acted like an idiot." I exhaled sharply, trying to calm the storm inside me. "It's more than idiot behavior, Ethan. You almost destroyed my life, my happiness." "I know," he whispered, "and I'll never stop regretting it." Emma reached for my hand again. "He made a mistake, but he's my brother. I can't erase what he did, but he's not evil. He's human, just like us." I looked at her, anger mixing with love, confusion, and exhaustion. I need time. I can forgive him, maybe, but I don't know if I can trust him again. Not yet. "Take all the time you need," Emma said softly. "I'll stay here. I won't leave your side, and I'll do everything to rebuild what's broken." Ethan's gaze met mine. "I don't expect forgiveness, not now. Maybe not ever. But I hope someday you can understand." I shook my head, conflicted. Understanding doesn't fix the damage. But I see you for what you are. Weak, flawed, human. And that's enough for now. Emma squeezed my hand. "We're stronger than this. We can move past it. But it has to start with truth. No more secrets, no more lies." I nodded slowly. Her words were a balm and a burden all at once. I had to decide whether I would rebuild trust, and with whom. Emma was clear. Her heart was mine. But Ethan, his shadow lingered, and I didn't know if it would ever disappear. "You have to leave now," I finally said to Ethan, voice firm. "I need space from you. I need to breathe, to think. Don't contact me until I say so." He nodded reluctantly. "I understand." As the door closed behind him, silence enveloped us. I sank into a chair, burying my face in my hands. Emma knelt beside me, brushing a strand of hair from my face. I'm here, she whispered. I'll wait as long as it takes. I'll prove it to you every day. I looked at her, tears mixing with relief and lingering anger. I don't know what comes next. But you're mine. That much I know. And as I held her, I realized that trust, once broken, was fragile, but love could survive, even in the storm of betrayal. I sat on the couch, staring at the empty space across from me. Emma hovered near the doorway, hands folded nervously. You don't have to sit there like I'm going to bite you, she said softly. I know, I muttered, my voice flat. It's just hard to get used to normal again. She stepped closer, cautiously. I get it, and I'll move at your pace. I want to be here. With you. I studied her, searching for traces of hesitation, but all I saw was honesty. You mean that? You won't second-guess yourself. I mean it, she said firmly. I'll do whatever it takes to earn your trust back. Every day if I have to. I exhaled and leaned back. Okay, small steps. That's all I can handle right now. She nodded, relief washing over her face. Small steps. I can do that. Later, Jordan called. You coming to the game tonight, or hiding from life like a monk? His usual teasing tone broke through my tense thoughts. I think I'll pass, I said. I need time. Suit yourself. But don't isolate too long, or the madness will swallow you whole. I know, I said, appreciating his attempt at grounding me. Even in my anger and heartbreak, Jordan's humor reminded me of stability. By evening, Emma and I sat quietly, sharing a cup of tea. The silence wasn't heavy this time. It felt tentative, like a bridge being rebuilt slowly, plank by plank. Can we talk about Ethan? She asked gently. I frowned. What about him? About boundaries, she said. You don't have to forgive him yet, but I think it's time to decide what space he has in your life. I swallowed. I don't know if I can ever trust him again, but I can't let this consume me either. I need distance. Then take it, she said. I'll support you. Whatever decision you make. The next day, Sarah stopped by. How's the wounded heart? She teased lightly, but her eyes were concerned. Still sore, I admitted. But manageable, I guess. Good, she said. Pain teaches, but it doesn't have to define you. You're allowed to protect yourself and still love. I think I'm learning that, I said slowly. I realized I can forgive selectively. I can love without blind trust. I just need to assert boundaries, especially with him. Sarah nodded. Exactly. You're growing, not giving up. And that's huge. Over the next few days, Emma and I practiced small acts of trust. A simple handhold while walking, sharing thoughts without fear, a glance that said more than words. Each gesture felt fragile yet grounding. Do you remember when we first met? She asked one afternoon, a small smile tugging at her lips. I chuckled softly. Yeah, you spilled coffee on me and then apologized for like 10 minutes straight. She laughed, the sound light and freeing. And you were mad, but not at me. You were mad at the coffee for existing. I smiled genuinely for the first time in weeks. Something like that. Feels like a lifetime ago. She reached for my hand, gently. We'll get back there, maybe not exactly, but closer. Step by step. I nodded, feeling warmth fill the cracks in my chest. Step by step, I repeated, letting the phrase sink in. Later that night, I sat alone reflecting. Ethan's shadow lingered in my mind. I couldn't erase the betrayal, couldn't forget the jealousy and pain, but I realized I could control how it affected me. I could assert boundaries and reclaim my peace. I texted Ethan, I need space. Don't contact me for a while. We'll talk later, maybe. Take care of yourself. No response. I didn't expect one. That was okay. Emma appeared behind me, wrapping her arms around my shoulders. Feeling better? She whispered. A little, I admitted. But I think the real work is just beginning. Rebuilding trust, healing, it's not instant. I'm here, she said softly. Every step. I promise. I leaned into her embrace, letting the tension in my shoulders ease. I know, and I appreciate that. More than I can say. We stayed like that for a long while, letting the quiet fill the space between us. No words, just presence. Small gestures, tiny steps, but each one a thread weaving us closer together again. I realized then that trust could be rebuilt, not in grand declarations, but in the small, consistent choices we made every day. Emma was proving her truth, and I was learning to accept it cautiously, wisely, and deliberately. The road ahead wasn't perfect. There would be setbacks, doubts, and memories of betrayal. But with boundaries, honesty, and patience, maybe, just maybe, we could move forward. and for the first time in weeks, I allowed myself to hope. I didn't seek revenge. I never had to. Life seemed to do it for me. Ethan's missteps had consequences that unfolded quietly but painfully. At work, I heard whispers from colleagues about missed opportunities, failed projects, and awkward confrontations. He stumbled professionally, his reputation subtly tarnished. I saw Ethan's report got rejected again. Jordan said one morning over coffee. Looks like karma's doing a number on him. I nodded, not gloating, just observing. I suppose everyone has to face their own actions eventually. Yeah, but it's satisfying to watch, he said, smirking. I smiled faintly. Satisfying, maybe, but I'm more concerned with moving forward than dwelling on his downfall. Emma squeezed my hand, her warmth grounding me. Are you okay watching this? She asked softly. I am, I said honestly. Not because I want him to suffer, but because I've realized his choices aren't mine to fix. I can only control how I react, how I protect my peace. We revisited the wedding venue one afternoon, empty now, sunlight spilling across the polished floor. Memories of chaos and heartbreak lingered, but they no longer held power over me. I can't believe how far we've come, Emma said, smiling gently. From almost losing everything to being here, together. I know, I said, letting my hand brush hers. I was blinded by shock and anger. But now I see clarity. Trust is fragile, but it can be rebuilt when truth guides it. A small wedding favor lay on a table, one of the tiny glass hearts we had handed out. I picked it up, turning it over in my palm. Remember this? I asked. Emma laughed softly. I do. Feels like a lifetime ago. It does, I admitted. But it reminds me that even broken things can hold meaning if we handle them carefully. At home later, Ethan called. I ignored it at first, letting it ring. When I finally answered, his voice was low, hesitant. I wanted to say I'm sorry, he muttered. Not that it changes anything, but I see now what I lost. I hear you, I said, voice steady. Regret is yours to live with. I've learned that forgiveness is not automatic, and trust has to be earned. I hope you take care of yourself and make better choices. Yeah, he said quietly. I understand. We hung up. I felt no rush to reconcile, no lingering anger, just a sense of detachment and resolution. Later, Emma and I sat together on the balcony, the city lights twinkling below. Do you feel lighter? She asked. I do, I said, letting the words settle. It's strange, but seeing him face consequences without my intervention gives me peace. I've realized that life handles its own justice if we don't interfere. She leaned against me. And us? Us is strong, I said, kissing her forehead. Stronger because we survived chaos. Stronger because we faced the truth together. Jordan popped by unexpectedly. Hey, lovebirds. You guys surviving the post-wedding calm. I laughed. Better than surviving. Thriving. You look happy, he said, raising an eyebrow. I am, I admitted. Happier than I thought I could be after everything. I've learned to forgive selectively, trust carefully, and protect my peace. Emma rested her head on my shoulder. I think we've both grown. The storm taught us what matters and what doesn't. I nodded, eyes on the horizon. Exactly. Life's lessons are harsh, but they stick. Karma doesn't need my hand. It moves naturally. And love endures when honesty is at its core. A soft breeze carried the scent of flowers from the empty wedding hall below. I held Emma's hand tightly, letting the moment sink in. No resentment lingered, no bitterness. Just clarity, love, and quiet satisfaction. Promise me one thing, Emma whispered. What? I asked. That we never let fear or doubt separate us again. That we trust enough to face challenges together. I smiled, squeezing her hand. I promise. We've learned the hard way, but we've learned. And that's enough. As we sat in silence, I realized that karma had balanced itself, trust had been rebuilt, and love had been reaffirmed. Life had delivered its own justice, and I had emerged stronger, wiser, and unshaken. The morning sunlight spilled across the kitchen, and Emma hummed softly as she poured coffee. I leaned against the counter, watching her move with ease. You're quiet today, she said, glancing at me over her shoulder. Just thinking, I replied. It's strange how calm everything feels now. She smiled, setting the mugs down. Calm is good. You've earned it. I guess I have, I admitted. After everything, it feels like I can finally breathe. She came closer, nudging me playfully. Breathe, huh? Don't forget we still have errands to run later. I chuckled. Yeah. I'm just enjoying the moment before chaos strikes. Emma leaned against me, resting her head on my shoulder. I like this version of us. Calm, steady, connected. Me too, I said. It's funny. I spent months worrying about betrayal, trust, and everything in between, and now, it's like we skipped the drama entirely. She laughed lightly. Don't tempt fate. Drama has a way of sneaking back in. I shook my head, smiling. Not today. Today, I'm happy. I'm present. That's enough. Later, as we walked through the park, I spotted Ethan sitting alone on a bench. He looked up, his eyes meeting mine briefly. I nodded in acknowledgement, and he gave a small, awkward wave. Do you want to say hi? Emma asked softly. No, I said firmly. We acknowledge, but we don't engage. Not anymore. I've got peace to protect. She squeezed my hand. I'm proud of you. That's real growth. We continued walking, and the tension from months ago felt like a distant memory. At work, Jordan stopped by my desk. Hey man, you look different. Happier maybe. I am, I said, leaning back. Life's lighter now. I've learned that I don't have to carry everyone else's mistakes or grudges. Good, he said, smiling. I was worried you'd become a hermit after the wedding fiasco. I laughed. Tempting, but no. I've realized self-care and emotional boundaries matter more than endless overthinking. That evening, Emma and I cooked dinner together. Flour dusted her nose, and I couldn't help but laugh. You're staring, she teased. I'm admiring, I corrected. Besides, it's been a long time since we could just exist without tension. She smiled warmly. I know, and I appreciate how far we've come. I feel safe with you, really safe. And I with you, I said, brushing a stray hair from her face. The mistakes, the chaos, the heartbreak, it all taught me what matters. Us. Honesty. Patience. Trust rebuilt. We ate in companionable silence, the easy rhythm of shared life filling the space. Later, as we watched the sunset from the balcony, Emma rested her head on my shoulder again. Do you ever think about how things might have gone differently? Sometimes, I admitted. But I don't dwell. What matters is now. I've healed, we've healed, and I'm finally at peace with myself, and with him. She nodded. Ethan. Yes, I said. I've let go. He's a lesson, not a burden. A cautionary tale rather than a chain dragging me back. Emma smiled, brushing her fingers against mine. I love this version of us. Stronger, wiser, and truly together. I kissed her forehead softly. Me too. And now we get to build our life without the shadows of the past. Just us moving forward. As the city lights twinkled below, I felt a quiet certainty. Betrayal, heartbreak, and chaos had taught me patience, discernment, and resilience. I'd emerged stronger, my trust carefully rebuilt, my love deeper than ever. For the first time in a long time, I felt fully present, fully alive, and ready for whatever came next.